The government's contracting for public services is big business and getting bigger. To show you how big, we're going to outsource our graphics to members of the public. We're trying to outsource our graphics.
What, for the graphics?
Yeah.
I haven't got a clue though, have I?
It's kind of that way.
Okay, I see, so 98. The government now spends about 98 billion on outsourcing and privately run public services. A year.
Can we ask you to help us with our graphics?
Around £1 in every £3 of taxpayers' money spent on public services goes to non-public sector providers.
Is that a good headline?
For me to put on this paper, that would be rubbish.
Well, it might not make a good headline, but it's a lot of money. So what's it spent on?
That's mainly spent on health, defence, justice, transport and welfare.
You're a natural.
Thank you. Actually, I'm quite shy.
Governments have for years contracted out a range of straightforward and sensitive public services for a number of reasons.
The good reasons are if there are people out there who can provide a service better than government can provide it itself, more efficiently, more effectively and at a better price, that might be a good reason to outsource something. Sometimes it's done for bad reasons, namely people at the centre of government think we just need to get the costs down. And if that's the main driver, the first driver for outsourcing, it's not that likely to work terribly well.
Lord Francis Maude, Minister for the Cabinet Office in the last coalition government, oversaw a mini transformation of public service providers turning private to boost the productivity of their state sector work.
I used to visit these and ask people, would you go back and work for the government, the NHS, council, whatever? Never had anyone say anything other than no. Why not? Because we can do things. We're free from the bureaucracy. We saw productivity go up in leaps and bounds, I mean almost literally overnight.
But despite these so-called mutuals, the world of outsourced public contracts is still dominated by a few large private companies that have mastered the art of bidding for them. And projects regularly suffer from weak contract management.
The policy people are the white-collar mandarins and they become the permanent secretaries, by and large, not exclusively. And the people who actually run big operations in government are the blue-collar people, and they always have to remain a bit below the salt, and that's completely wrong.
Spectacular failures have made alarming headlines.
Tonight at 10, the security companies accused of massively overcharging the taxpayer for tagging criminals.
Also tonight, the focus of protests now Atos, the company running the government's fitness to work tests, asks to end its contract early.
It's supposed to be the nation's great global games, but it's being protected by a private security firm now accused of letting Britain down.
Including the so-called NHS computer, established in 2003 to integrate people's medical records across institutions.
It was such a slow burn train crash. I watched it over a period of 10 or 12 years burn taxpayers' cash, and it still isn't finished yet, even though the government announced under the coalition in 2011 that they were dispensing with it. It's still going on because the contracts are still there. And this goes back to how you write contracts in the first place. And billions of pounds has been spent to no avail.
MPs complain contractors often overpromise and underdeliver, but it's also true that proper scrutiny of deals from government is still lacking.